on Sunday, so we're coming down to the wire here. And I believe JTP, Jolo, and Firework King are in this is their fifth race, so be excited to see what happens.
Oh, we got a hook shot right off the bat in Link's house.
It looks like we have both. Looks like everyone's heading to the castle to start.
Yeah, this is a very common start. I mean, obviously, you pretty much have two choices, either Link's house or Sanctuary. It appears all of our runners prefer this one better. So you get the Uncle item and the chest next to Uncle.
If they happen to get a weapon between those two items, they can continue to do the traditional escape route as you would see in the standard mode of this game.
That would be a really tight escape, though. I mean, you could probably go out and pull like 4 more bombs, but other than that, that's pretty much a bomb escape, and that's going to be tight. We'll probably see a save and quit after these chests.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like JTB is deciding to do South Shore right now.
And while everyone else seems to be going through Sanctuary and most likely heading over to Kakariko.
Yeah, with the hook shot, JTB will be able to make quick work of the mini Moldorms in the mini Moldorm cave, so this certainly is a valid play. One of the less traditional routes was certainly valid.
Yes.
It's like Karnath is going to give us an Agathic here, or at least the Lumberjack ledge.
So we already have our mail upgrade up in the mushroom spots. So it'll be a little bit protected for rest of the seed for now.
Yeah, a lot of our runners getting use out of that hook shot too. It's not quite the boots, but a lot of movement advantage can be gained from proper use of that hook shot with bushes and trees. There's a lot of stuff that can be hook shot to give our runners a movement advantage early in the game.
Yep.
We got our first peek at Mini Moldorm here in top right from JTB. Looks like a red ruby. Wow.
And speaking of the boots.
So that works out for JTB. Luckily, our runners aren't going to go too far. They shouldn't go too long before they get that.
No.
But yeah, that's a really good find. It's going to be a really fast seed. I say that. I have seen a lot of seeds where you get early boots, but the seed still ends up being 2+ hours. But we'll see.
I mean, we have both Jolin and Firework King checking out Blind's hideouts. Got lots of money, parts, and more bombs.
You know, I made a comment about Karnath checking the Lumberjack cave, but I completely missed what was on the Lumberjack cave.
Yeah. It was like, we got a pyro glove in the back of Blind's hideout there. So, almost the way through for Dark World access.
Yeah, and with the hook shot and bombs, you might even be able, and because we got the key in Sanctuary, we might actually be able to do the back escape if our runners are comfortable with doing that in the dark.
All right. Just wrapping up our checks here in Kakariko.
Getting half price rupees from the bottle vendor there, paying 100 for 50 rupees.
Oh, looks like
this.
Ooh.
So we got a bottle in the library. JTB is going to be the only one to get that. So if Sick Kid has something, this could be a really strong play from JTB.
You know those early boots.
Looks like we had a mirror in the Kakariko well too.
And let's see what the Sick Kid has for us today. Looks like just arrows. Just says arrow stash.
So Sick Kid has just 10 arrows.
Yep. Oh, and there was another bottle in the tavern too, so.
Well, so much for that advantage for JTB.
Well, he does has 2 bottles now, so. I think the first one in the library had a fairy, it looked like.
Yeah, one thing I will say, so far in our Sphere 1 checks, and for those who are new to Randomizer, Sphere 1 is any location you can access with infinite bombs and infinite rupees. In Sphere 1, we have both the hook shot and the mirror. So if I'm a runner, I might be really suspicious of Swamp Palace, regardless of if it's a crystal or pin at this point.
Mm-hmm. There's a fairy, yes. Okay, good. Thanks, Chad. And I don't think, looks like someone did a map check earlier. I missed that in one of the, I missed that in the feeds here. It looks like Eastern and Hera have each a crystal, and it looks like Desert is one of the blue-red pendants, I believe.
Very happy to see both Julian Ninja and Firewood King going South Shore right now. They will be getting their boots shortly. An EP play right now, especially with the addition of hints in V30, would be a valid play, but right now that would be unfortunate because you'd be missing out on your boots.
Yeah.
I always like seeds that give you all of the movement options early. I mean, between hookshot and boots, getting around Hyrule is going to be really easy.
Yeah, and it's better to have. I would rather have the boots, 5 minutes in and not like an hour in when you need them. When you need them all of a sudden, just spending the entire run without them. So this will definitely be a faster seed, if anything.
Yeah, even if routing tries to be very mean and we end up double dipping a bunch of dungeons, at least we'll be able to do it quickly. The last mini Moldorm giving Firewood King on the bottom left a little bit of trouble, but he ends up getting it. So he'll be getting his boots very shortly. JTB now with Red Mail. So not only is this a fast seed, but we are well protected.
Yeah.
So if I'm JTB, I would probably check that escape. Either that or dive Eastern.
I would probably
But at
go.
this point, we're kind of running out of options.
Yeah.
You could sequence break Death Mountain, but the only way to find yourself in the dark right now is either with Boomerang or Hookshot, neither of which are super ideal.
That's right. No one has a sword just yet.
So for those here who may be new, this is Link to the Past Randomizer. So this is Link to the Past just like you used to play on Super Nintendo, except for all the items have been shuffled. So we don't know where any of the items are. For example, the chest that JTB are opening, I found 2 heart pieces and I missed the middle chest. In the vanilla game, that would be 100 rupees and a bomb.
Yes.
So all of the items have been shuffled around Hyrule. There is a logic to this game. So you could go to Death Mountain right now because we do have a glove, but we don't have a lamp. So that would be what we know as a sequence break. You could get up there, but the game doesn't expect you to be able to do that yet. So it looks like JTB is clearing out Eastern. He won't be able to full clear this dungeon because he doesn't have the bow and we don't know where it is. But he will be able to check 3 items, at least 2 items, possibly 3 in this dungeon, as well as check one of the hint tiles.
Yep. And speaking of secrets, we can receive Firewood King doing it as well as a little trick called water walking. So you start off with another technique called fake flippers. So you jump into the water, and on the next frame, as you transition, you are quote unquote swimming. And with that, you are able to swim in the water without flippers. And I believe there's also now the other trick I'm not too familiar with is doing a stored water walk, which you can't really do until you have the boots, and that's you're pretty much walking on water, kind of like magic. Pretty cool. And
Ooh, lamp from Zora.
oh,
So that's interesting because for JTB, in his mind, he can sequence break the last chest of Eastern, but we now know it's actually in logic for him right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the way the stored water walk works, pits have very weird properties in this game, like the pits that you fall into.
Yes.
If you do a dash outside of Ice Rod Cave, but you're kind of overlapping that pit, for some reason when you jump into the water, it doesn't recognize that you're supposed to drown, and you're able to dash on the water. So something sharp is in Paradox Cave. All right, so there's a sword in Paradox
Okay.
Cave. That is good information. That's actually really good information, because if we
That's
get
very good. Yeah.
access to Death Mountain and access to Hera, you can go up there knowing that you can kill Moldorm. Because right now we don't have a weapon to kill Moldorm. But
Right.
oh, we are getting a bomb escape from Firewood King here. Meanwhile, Karnath wasting no time coming up to Death Mountain. With the hookshot, he will be able to check East Death Mountain, so he should be getting his sword here very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he won't be able to do much more other than Paradox Cave.
Yeah.
So, back to the water walk though. If you store a Boots water walk, you can do the traditional fake flipper, which is get 1 pixel from the edge of the screen, jump in the water, and then transition. So that's 1 water walk, but you still have the Boots water walk stored up. So that allows you to do more than 1 water walk. Using those glitches, if you do it properly, you can actually get the Zora ledge item without having flippers.
Because normally, if you try to get that item on the ledge, while fake flippering, you are normally are unable to.
So Karnath in Paradox Cave just found in one chest the sword and the cape. And we know that Lamp is on Zora. So unless we find a hammer in Moon Pearl or a glove in Moon Pearl, this very well might be an Agassiz.
I think that might have been the Master Sword too on Karna's side too.
Yes, he does have Master Sword.
Huh. And
So
he's very well
I hate
prepared
it.
now.
I hate it when you're trying to avoid the Agassiz and then it gives you like sword, another sword, lamp,
Mhm.
cape.
Again, if you're running the seed, if you have everything you need to go to Aga, do you just go up and just do it, or do you look through every possible chest in hopes that you don't have to do Aga 1? The logic has been it's still very hard to read, sort of, when you have all these items just fall in your lap and you're like, do I really want to do Aga 1? I don't want to, but I kind of have to. So it depends on the runner if they want to do all of the as many checks as they can before making that decision.
Yeah, and JTB on the top right just gave us a lumberjack check again. It looks like it was a red rupee, so we won't have to do AGA for that item, but we may still need to do AGA if we need the pyramid, if like hammers in pyramid, which would just be sadistic, or if that's just the way we access East Dark World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Master Sword, knowing where the Master Sword is and the lamp, they are more than prepared for Aga 1.
So Firewood King checking the back of Escape, but opting not to do the Dark Room. Possibly because he doesn't have a sword. That key rat can be really annoying to find in the dark.
Yeah. Well, JTP looks like he's able to is doing it. He's kind of finding his way in the dark using the boomerang there.
We get a bonk rock check from Firewood King. JTB checked this earlier, but I missed what it was. Just a red ruby.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Karnath is making the Hera play. Oh, Karnath found the Moon Pearl somewhere.
Oh, that's actually his bunny sprite as Dark Link. He just turns into normal Link. It's actually genius. It's actually genius. But another great thing, actually, one of my favorite things about the randomizer is that you can play as there's a whole collection of sprites that you can play as. I know JTP is playing as the Cheep, as we know from the Super Mario games. Looks like Firewood King is playing as a version of Link. I can't make it out too well. Karnath is Dark Link, and I can't tell who Ninja is playing as. I know I've seen that character before, but I can't remember. I can't think of the character's name.
Yeah, I'm terribly uncultured when it comes to the sprites in
Yeah.
Randomizer.
I know most of them. I don't know all of them.
I mean, I'm still upset because that bunny sprite wasn't an animal.
From Legend of Mana. Okay, gotcha.
Oh,
But yeah,
it's a sprite. I see what they did there.
but they do have there's a whole team of sprite artists who make sprites for the randomizer, and with version 3 that was just released, there's been a bunch of new sprites added, including Sailor Moon's been added, Phoenix Wright, who I've played as extensively, which is amazing, Shy Guy from Super Mario. There's a whole library available.
Yeah, and speaking of Moon Pearl, Karnath FD on the bottom right just found Moon Pearl in Tower Hera, which is
Oh,
actually, it was one chest away from its vanilla location. Supposed
almost
to
there.
be in the big chest.
So we call that French vanilla in randomizer. So if an item that is normally in it's in its original location, but in not the right chest, like they refer to it as French vanilla. So not quite, but it's there.
I liked Karnath's Moldorm fight at the bottom right.
Oh,
Usually you use spin strats because it's 3 spin strats. Because if you use
Mhm.
Master Sword slashes, you get the enraged, really fast, really angry Moldorm.
Yeah.
But he just used the cape. He was like, "I'm not dealing with that. You can't touch me."
Right, and that's the first crystal down for Karna there at about 16 and a half minutes.
Yeah, it's a really fast, especially if the seed's looking like an Agaseed. That's a really fast first crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So JTB is routing Paradox Cave a little differently here. With the mirror, he will be able to use a glitch we call item deletion. He's going to spam the mirror as he's pushing this block, and no more block.
Yep, it's gone.
So Firewood King getting his Aga Care package, and with the lamp, he might be a little bit more susceptible or a little bit more suspicious of Aga than our other runners who have not yet found the lamp. Of all the dark rooms in the game, Aga is probably the one that runners learn last if they ever bother to learn it.
If they do it all. Yeah, I personally, I don't want to do Aga 1, and I don't want to do Aga 1 at all. Having to do it in the dark is no, I'm good.
We got a Tempered Sword on the Desert Ledge. Karnath showing us that on the
Oh.
bottom right.
And from our good friend Saha's brother? I can never remember who. But Akina's Cave gave us the blue boomerang.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. JTB, I saw him heading over to Paradox Cave. He has his Master Sword and all of that from Hera, but I guess he opted not to do Tower of Hera.
Maybe he's thinking that there's an item in the basement, so he doesn't have a fire source at the moment, so he's probably waiting till he has that. But I believe on Karna's side, we found out that he didn't have to go to the basement at all. I think he found both items in Hera. Okay, so the third item that we were missing in Sahasrala's hut was a bottle. So that's the third bottle that we've seen so far.
So right now, between all of our runners, I'm thinking we're definitely looking at Aga at this point because we were missing both a glove or a hammer.
Glove and hammer, yeah, and it's not really else we can check at the moment either.
Yeah, and I think the other 3 runners are going to be at a slight disadvantage because Firewood King, he sequence broke, so he did Fake Flipper. He was able to clear the Waterfall Cave out and the rest of the Zora area. Our other runners are either going to have to go way out of their way down to South Shore to set up that glitch, or they're going to have to use boots to just foot it to Zora.
I believe and then 3 runners who still need the lamp, I think they should have more than enough money to pay off Zora to get it, so they should be fine in that regard.
And we are getting our first dark room in the top left here from JTV. So we know that this is in logic because the lamp is on Zora, but otherwise, if we didn't know where the lamp was, this would be a sequence break. The game's not expecting us to do this right now. So any item we find here, like let's say if we found something crazy like mitts that gave us Dark World access, we would know that the lamp is not behind the mitts because you needed the lamp to get the mitts. So Julian Ninja getting his now useless hint that a sword is in Paradox Cave. Those are like my least favorite seeds. Like sometimes you get hints, sometimes you get journal entries.
Yeah.
Like they just tell you everything you've already done.
So for those of you who are new to the randomizer, this is the first version where the hint tiles are now in place, so they will usually tell you something useful, either where an item is or give you hints of, what's where and everything, or sometimes you get hints that are just there. They're usually highlighted in green, so you'll know right away if it's if it's a joke hint or not a hint at all, rather. Yes, Karnath completed Hera about 5 minutes ago, so they have their first crystal for the seed.
And at this point, Karnath's going to realize very shortly that Zora has to have something. I think that's the only location still in Lottie. He's even checked Agina. Ooh, bottom left, Firewood King taking a fall to Moldorm right there.
Yep. Not forgiven today, apparently.
Yeah, no matter how good you get at this game, Moldorm is just ridiculous.
Oh, he's still mean.
Getting a very weird bonk off of Moldorm there. I think JTV might be heading down here to set up his fake flipper. Yeah, this can be difficult to set up. A lot of people use sword slashes because they're trying to do 1 pixel movements to line themselves up with the very last pixel of the edge of the screen. And you can see right there, he got it. So when he moved to the next screen, the game doesn't think to check if you are drowning on the first frame of the next screen. So as long as you're in the water during that transition, you're just allowed to stay there.
Yeah, if you're starting with randomizer and you're starting to learn kind of the ways you can, sequence break, fake flippers is usually the easiest one to learn and to get down pretty easy.
Yeah, and JTB might be a little salty when he finds the Moon Pearl in Hera because of not having the Moon Pearl, he's not able to check the Waterfall Cave. There's a weird property with the Moon Pearl in the way that when you enter a screen, it checks to see if you're drowning or not. If you do not have the Moon Pearl and you try to go into Waterfall Cave, you will not come out walking. You will remain in the fake flipper swimming state. So JTB was unable to check the Waterfall Cave right there. But getting his lamp, I think he realizes what the seed is telling him to do.
Time to see our good friend Aghanim in his first form.
Yeah, without the Moon Pearl, though, he will have to save and quit after Aghanim.
Looks like both. Yeah, JTP is looking like he's doing.
Karnath coming back here. Did he not check Agina when he was in desert earlier?
Could have sworn he did.
Guess he just saw tempered and noped out.
Alright, yes.
And the Bloomerang. Fun fact, anytime your hints refer to the blue boomerang, they call it the best boomerang.
What do they call it for the red boomerang? Do you know?
The boomerang.
Okay, all right. So blue.
I think they call it the red boomerang.
Okay, so nothing fancy.
Yeah, and to answer chat, going out and going back in without the Moon Pearl, you cannot leave the fake flipper state. You will remain swimming, which is why JTB had to skip the Waterfall Cave. So regardless of what JTB finds here, he will have to go back up to Hera and get his Moon Pearl.
Because once he defeats Dragon 1 he'll be transported into the dark world on top of the pyramid, but he will be in his curse form without the moon pearl.
In his Dark World sprite.
Yeah, dark world sprite. I always get the things mixed up. I've heard it used interchangeably.
I mean, I've always said bunny sprite, but apparently we now have human Dark World sprites, which is just blasphemous. So in JTB, he has another hint tile in this room, so we might get some valuable information here. Of course, it may have something useless.
Some caches in the chest requiring a specialist to unlock.
That is actually a really nice hint to get. So what that means is that there is cash in the purple chest, which is a very lengthy, time-consuming check.
Yeah,
Both of our runners have boots, but you can't dash with I mean, you can dash if you do some shenanigans with a hook shot, but generally it's a slow check to have to check that purple chest.
And with knowing that he will most likely not bother with that check, the seed.
So Karnath going the long way around. I don't know that any of our other runners checked this.
Hobo, just 20 rupees.
Just a big.
And Mima was like, let's see, where is everyone located? So it feels like Karnath is going to be continuing the fake flippers and heading up to Zora and the Waterfall Cave. I think they're the last to get the lamp.
It'll be kind of interesting to see when our runners have, useful dark world access, because JTB kind of looks like he's in the lead, but he needs to go back up to Hera to get that moon pearl. So, and then Karnath on the bottom right, he's going to get his lamp very shortly, so he's going to know, he needs to go do Aga. Like, that is literally the last thing on his list. Also, we're going to see how many blue balls Aga is going to give us today. This is randomized, but it's the same for each of our runners. So whatever pattern JTB gets, assuming that everybody else, doesn't miss a hit on Aga, they will get the exact same pattern.
I was commentating a seed once, and I think Aga had like 6 blue balls in a row. It was not pretty. Sometimes he can be pretty easy, and other times he will just not he won't be he doesn't want to go down fighting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, this is just one of the many quality of life improvements that the devs have added to Randomizer. If you were running the NMG speedrun, it would be completely random. So if you're trying to speedrun the game and Aga gives you 15 blue balls, you just have to take it and smile.
Oh my gosh, it looks like, oh my god, GTP's. Oh my god, it's so cute.
It's a blooper.
Oh my god. Sorry about that. But it looks like it was just a single arrow on the top of the pyramid there. So, so when GTP saves and quits, we try to, but you have to use the mirror and then save and quit so that you're transported back into the light world.
Yeah, a lot of people dislike Aga for many reasons, and that's one of them. Especially checks like Spike Cave, where you have to walk through this really long cave in the Dark World. It makes no sense to walk back out of it. You have to save and quit. And with the mirror, you save and quit to the Dark World.
Yep.
Also, the overworld gets much more difficult after you kill Aghanim, so that's something they're going to have to deal with as well. For example, JTB's got some spiders or techites, whatever they're called.
Yes.
And he's got to deal with those now.
Looks like JTP is finally making the trip up to Hera, and we'll be able to clear it and finally get the Moon Pearl.
So at the moment, it looks like Julia Ninja with the slight lead. I'm not sure if he left off any checks that our other runner did. I don't think he's been to the desert area yet. But other than that, it looks like he will be the first one with practical access to the Dark World.
And with the Jolly Ninja side, he, excuse me, they'll actually be able to traverse into the Dark World with the Moon Pearl and be able to discover new things that we have yet to see. And Firework King is also following suit. So both of them will be able to go to Dark World soon.
Yeah, and like when you're trying to read a seed, like if you get sword, lamp, and cape, you immediately start suspecting Aga, but when they give you the hook shot as well, you just really start to suspect it. Something you'll see in Randomizer, but you won't see necessarily in the vanilla game. You can actually get to the East Dark World, Village of Outcasts, using that hook shot across the river. So we might see that from some of our runners. They have the option to dip pod, depending on the key layout. They may not be able to get far without the bow, but we'll see what our runners decide to do after Aghanim.
I mean, once one of these two runners enter the Dark World, I believe we'll be getting a map check, unless... Yeah, I don't think anyone's done it yet. We do know that the Green Pendant, if you talk to Taharshala, he'll tell you where the Green Pendant is. And it looks like Green Pendant is in Ia's Palace, I believe?
I think so. As per our tracker, that is correct.
Okay.
I appreciate Slowpoke and Anticium keeping us honest. Julian Ninja finding his single arrow on the pyramid. One of the more trolly aspects about hints, the single arrow is considered a unique item. So if you find a hint tile telling you a unique item is somewhere, it may not be worth checking.
You know, it could be something useful, or it could be a single arrow, which is great to add to your arrow count. Although it doesn't really do much without the bow, the bow at hand either. And it's like Karnath is finally making the way up to Aga 1, and Julian Ninja is headed up to Pod, and we finally have our Dark World map check.
Yeah, as far as pendants, this isn't the worst layout. Ice Palace only has 3 items, Desert only has 2 unique items, and Thieves Town with 4 unique items. As opposed to something like, Pod with 6 items. Sometimes you hate to see like a lot of items locked behind pendants.
And it looks like our 2 red crystals, or 5 and 6 crystals, are going to be over in Skullwoods and in Turtle Rock for the seed.
It looks like Julian Ninja decided to dive Pod, while JTB in the top left is skipping Pod and instead going around to the Village of Outcasts and picking up Catfish while he's here.
And it looks like we weren't bow locked in Palace of Darkness, so we did find the key in the first chest, so we'll see what we have in store.
And I believe one of our bottles had green potion in it.
Yes.
So if our runners want to, we can do potion glitch. We'll see if Julian Ninja opts to do that. Well, it looks like he's going straight to the back.
This looks like GCP and Firewood King will be heading to the western portion of the Dark World with the hookshot. And with the mirror, they are able to check 2 more items, I believe. Actually, no, 3 more items along the way. So there's the Graveyard Ledge, there is King's Tomb, and then there is the Bumper Cave as well.
Yeah, I'm generally a fan of checking Pod in this scenario. Like, if you have to do Aga, like, I want to avoid coming back here for any reason.
Right. And it looks like we found literacy on Julian Ninja's side with the Book of Medora. So we can finally read, guys.
Yeah, Book of Medora, that gives us access to Desert and, more importantly, a Tempered Sword on the Desert Ledge. Oh, Julian Ninja picked up a Tempered Sword. So that means Butter Sword is now on the Desert Ledge. So Julian Ninja got his worth out of Pod and decided to leave. I believe the big key is on the right side of Pod right now. So he couldn't check the big chest.
Correct, yeah.
So we'll get a bumper cave check here from JTB in the top left. This can be kind of a sketchy check if you're not careful. Those murdered actors sitting on the tree, they look innocent, but they will wreck.
They hurt for a lot.
Especially in inverted mode. Like you only have 3 hearts, you just want to see what the item is. They just they have no chill.
Yeah, inverted mode is a whole different beast. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. It looks like Firework King is heading into Skullwoods to start.
Yeah, a lot of people favor this play anytime they get Village of Outcasts access because the requirements for the front part of Skull Woods, I mean, basically is Dark World access. So a lot of people just treat this as overworld.
And we found Bombos.
That very well might be worth it.
Absolutely, yeah, because both Meyer and Turtle Rock are required. We don't know which medallions are needed for which dungeon.
Ooh, loot!
Oh, this
is... a lot of value in Skull Woods right now.
Yeah, I won't be able to complete at the moment, but those are some, especially the flute. That's a nice item to have early on.
Yeah, I mean, if only you get to check the Meyer medallion and know when you're in go mode.
Yes.
So another thing about bombos, if we find mitts and flippers, that might put Ice Palace in logic.
And Ice Palace does have the green pendant, so our good friend Joshua could have a useful item as well.
Yeah, and with the V30 hint tiles, Ice Palace has 3 of them. So Ice Palace has a lot of worth if you decide to dive it. A lot of potential worth. Not every hint tile is useful, but with 3 of them, one of them's bound to be good for something.
And then it looks like we have both JTP and Firework King heading into Feast Town first. And Feast Town is a pendant this time around.
Yeah, Thieves Town is a pendant, but it's also like a really quick dungeon.
It is, yeah. It's usually the when you enter the Dark World, it's usually the first available dungeon that you can full clear. Although this time we don't have the hammer just yet.
Yeah, and we did get the small key in the front of Thieves Town. Also, Firewood King got a red cane in the chess game. Wonder if JTV will be checking that. I didn't see if he did chess game before going into Thieves Town or not.
I did not see it, unfortunately.
If Firewood King opting not to go into Thieves Town, and I don't know. I like that because not only do I not like diving pendant dungeons, I don't like diving pendant dungeons that I can't full clear.
Yeah. And at this point, we are not sure if the pedestal is in play yet. But with Jillian, with the book, they are able to check if they want to. We do know that based on the information that we have presented to us at the moment, let's see. The only thing that cannot be on the pedestal is the hammer, because Ice Palace is a pendant dungeon, and you do need the hammer to clear it, as well as the flippers, I believe. So those two items we can rule out in the pedestal right now. And other
Pretty
than that,
much.
everything. But other than that, everything's in play.
Yeah, that could be really scary. Also, as far as just dungeon requirement, oh well, Firewood King got his bow,
Oh,
so that works out for him. Especially if he finds Hype Cave or finds Hammer and Hype Cave, this might work out to be a really nice route for him.
that's right. No one has gone to Hype Cave. No one has gone to Hype Cave yet.
Yeah, JTB will be getting his cane from Chess Game.
Mm-hmm.
JTB full cleared Thieves Town, but I did not count the items to see if he got all 4 of them. Firewood King in the bottom left with flippers. So
Ooh.
now he can definitely go to Pod. He can swim over there if he wants to. At that point, though, it might just be faster to mirror and use the Aga warp.
Yeah, at that point it would be.
It was like, but so far the routing has worked out for Firewood really well. He dove Skullwoods, found Bombos and Flute. He only checked the first 4 of Thieves Town. I don't think JTB really found anything worthwhile in the back of Thieves Town.
Yeah, he hasn't gone to Skullwoods either. I also didn't see. Did Firewood King activate the flute yet, or no?
I think he did. I think he mirrored after Thieves Town.
Okay.
Let's see how Hype Cave is.
I'm expecting full hype. Oh. I would call that pretty hype, yeah. Getting the Titansmiths from Hype Cave there.
Very Hype Cave. Looks like Firewood King is going to read the hint here. Bombos and Skullwoods. Once again, a journal entry for Firewood King.
Dear Diary, I found Bombos in Skullwoods.
Firewood King is going to find his sword on the desert ledge. Probably check Agina before jumping into the mire area.
And even though Firewood King doesn't have the book, they are able to get into Desert Palace with the Titansmiths and the Mirror and Fluid combination.
That's right.
It doesn't mean if the book is still needed, because there could be items on our 2 tablets, and we are able to know what is on the pedestal as well.
Yeah, something I always like to think about, like, why wasn't this item in Ganon's tower? So we knew that we needed mitts, we knew that we needed the flute and the mirror, so why did the game give us that book? I would want to be suspicious of the tablets, but at the same time, like in the back of my mind, I just know they're going to be trash.
Ninja found the book in Palace of Darkness. It was in the basement room, the basement with all the rupees, with the 2 chests. And I believe they've been the only runner to go into Pod. And still can't clear it until we find the hammer.
And just a blue rupee and checkerboard cave from Firewood King on the bottom left. So he does have access to Desert Palace right now, but unfortunately doesn't really have a way to kill Landmo quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably see a whole bunch of spin strats and slashes from the master or tempered sword. With the tempered sword, a spin attack does basically fire rod damage. So 2 spin attacks would take care of Lammo.
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting a mire dip? We're going into mire.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, you can technically clear mire at this point.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Desert's a pendant. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Firewall King has the hook shot. They have Kena Samaria. Tempered Sword. Yeah, I think you are able to full clear Mire at this point.
He does have a fairy too, but nevertheless, this is going to be a dicey Vitreous. He doesn't have powder, so he doesn't have a way to heal himself using the anti-fairies. This is a dangerous dungeon to be in on 8 hearts.
Yeah, any dungeons that you normally wouldn't go into in the vanilla Link to the Past, they can be pretty dangerous if you are able to dip early in Randomizer.
It looks like on the top right, Julian Ninja got his mitts. He is doing Dark Death Mountain. With between the Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave, that is a total of 6 items he can get.
Mm-hmm.
And with the book, he can check Ether Tablet.
He's gonna have to wait for a little bit. Looks like a little dead rock blockage there. It's the worst thing that can happen.
So now the question, if Turtle Rock is Ether, do you dive it? I mean, depending on key layout, you might just get 1 chest. You might be able to make it all the way to Laser Bridge.
There's another thing to keep in mind. Now that we found Bombos, you can clear... Actually, no, you can't clear Ice Palace, but could the Fire Rod be on the pedestal?
Yeah, Fire Rod could absolutely be on pedestal.
Oh boy.
Because you have Bombos for Ice
to
Palace,
clear.
and that's the only dungeon that would really require it.
Yep, but until
We
you
have
find
a
the
Fire
hammer.
Sorcerer Desert.
Yeah, but until you find the hammer, won't be able to do much with that. So we are seeing a lot of divergence with our Forerunners here. It's actually very exciting.
Ooh, Turtle Rock is Ether. And I think Julian Ninja is interested.
At the very least, they'll be able to open it. Probably will not be able to full clear it,
Well, he
depending on where
opted not
keys
to.
are. Yeah, we have the pendant, so.
He mirrored and picked up the rock, but then opted not to open it. Oh, you're right, Iceman. You need a hammer to do that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the world's worst. Like, once I get to this point of the seed, if I'm missing a glove or a hammer, I just lose my mind because I'm so used to having those at 48 minutes in.
So looks like Firewood King checked the tile up in the cutscene room. Some cash requires 3 pendants.
I mean, we got to get it. Like, we need that cash.
Yeah, everyone.
That's how this game works. You just bribe Ganon.
Just bribe Ganon with all your money, and he'll just like, you know what, maybe I'll take over Hyrule another day. You are good. I'll just take this cash and run. But unfortunately, in this case, Pedestal is unfortunately dead.
And JTB in the top right having top left having a great armor fight, getting his second crystal.
Very nice.
It's like we do have a Swamp Palace play from Karnath in the bottom left. Only finding the big key. I do not disagree with that play at all. It's only 1 chest, but at this point, why not? You're already there.
I mean, it could be anything really, too.
And also, at least now you know, like that's something he can put out of his mind until he finds the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite sure what Firewood King is doing. Maybe looking for a heart, but I think he lost more health than he found there.
Yeah, I
This
don't think
is
that
a
was worth it.
very scary Vitreous fight. So we'll see. I don't know if Firewood King set up Spooky Glitch or not. It doesn't look like he did. Spooky Glitch, I'll go into detail if someone sets it up. But basically it's a glitch that's really, really complex, but it allows you to save about 10 seconds in Mire.
You know, as a hint, as the name implies, it is definitely spooky.
Freaks me out every time I see it, man. Man, Firewood King down to 1 heart now.
Yeah, this
I
is
know one of the bottles had a fairy in it. I know another bottle had a green potion in it. I don't know what the other bottle had.
I don't know if it had anything.
I don't know if he wants to farm the beanbags for hearts or not. I don't know. This is a scary fight. Well, he does have silvers though,
Yeah.
so
And
it's actually not that bad.
No, you do not need the fire rod for the spooky action glitch. I don't believe so. That's probably why I'm doing the glitch wrong, honestly.
No,
But
actually, yeah, that's right. You do need the fire rod for spooky glitch.
Okay.
Because the whole part of the glitch, like it you
Oh.
assign a special value to the fire rod that affects the splash damage.
Okay, that's why I've been doing it wrong. Anyway, so about that hammer. JTP just found it in pod. It was in
Was
the
it on
room
the
that was...
Bowlock side?
Yeah, it's on Bowlock's side.
Oh wow, spooky glitch would have. Oh, I don't know. Potion glitch. Potion glitch would have been worth a little bit there, but I don't know. That might be real bad for Julian Ninja because it might be a while before he goes back to pod without that hammer.
For all we know, he could be looking for the hammer right now. But he does have the bow to be able to go to that section now. But it will be a double dip for them.
So with hammer, you now have access to both ice and swamp. At this point, especially with the Sphere 1 mirror and hookshot, I would be highly suspicious of swamp right now.
Yeah, swamp does have the most chests to check, but it can be a pretty lengthy dungeon.
As per our hint tile, looks like there's a unique item in the Pyramid Fairy.
Let's see.
It's going to take us a while to get there, though, with Turtle Rock being one of the red crystals.
Yeah.
We got our final bottle in Desert. Bottom left, Firewood King just picked up a bottle with blue goo in it. And the next item, a red ruby.
It looks like Firewood King and Karnath are almost in sync with each other, making the Desert Palace play.
We'll see where Firewood King goes from here. I would not be surprised if he heads to pod soon. I keep forgetting that they don't have the hammer. I'm like, why didn't Firewood King flute to 5? Oh yeah, he doesn't have the hammer. Oh, apparently it was a unique item that requires a bomb, not Pyramid Fairy.
Ah, gotcha.
Although I'm not, let me check.
Well, actually,
I think requires a bomb can include Pyramid Fairy.
I believe I can't remember if there's and that for sure says big red bomb. The hammer was found in Palace of Darkness. It is in the room that is bow locked. So the only person who has found it so far is GTP, and it looks like they are going to be able to full clear pod.
Yeah, so for Pyramid Fairy, it either requires a big red bomb or is with a Great Fairy. Behind the bomb does not include Pyramid Fairy.
Gotcha. And so at the moment, I believe Firework King is the only person who knows for sure that the pedestal is dead. And not sure if the other runners will be, because that's one of the hint tiles that's kind of out of the way, because you normally don't go in that room in Mire unless you are still looking for items. But Jillian Ninja is in Mire right now, so we'll see. Well, both Karnath and Jillian Ninja are up in Mire.
Yeah, in the top left, JTB just going straight up beast mode on Helmasaur, not even bothering with the sword spin strats.
Nope. Just
Not
few
even
whacks.
bothering with silver arrows.
Yeah, just a few whacks with the hammer there. There
So
you
at
go.
the bottom left, Firewood King now making the Dark Death Mountain play. We know he's not really going to find much up here,
No.
but certainly a reasonable play, especially if you don't want to go into pod without that hammer. Man, Meyer, both Joey Ninja and Karnath on 2.5 and 3 hearts on the right side of her
Yeah,
screen here.
it's
This dungeon is
pretty,
brutal.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I would say Mire and Turtle Rock are probably my least favorite dungeons to have to deal with in Randomizer. It's not a fun time for me, at least.
So I wonder where JTB goes now. I would probably make a swamp play right now.
I believe you would be right.
And it looks like that's where he's headed.
So I think, yeah, you are able to full clear swamp at this point.
And if swamp comes up empty, I would be all over Ice Palace right now. But I would definitely make the swamp play before Ice Palace.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because I think for what we have now, the only item that has not been accounted for is the fire rod. Oh, I'm sorry,
We'll
fire rod
also
and
need
ice
the
rod.
ice rod.
That's right. Oh.
And everyone loves an ice rod search. It's everyone's favorite item when Turtle Rock gets a crystal.
Yeah, there are seeds where you find the ice rod in the first like 20 minutes and you end up not going into Turtle Rock, and there are the seeds where you spend an hour looking for it because Turtle Rock is a crystal dungeon. So it does live to its name as being a very, very trolly item for anyone.
Yeah, and anytime you get it in the first 5 minutes, it's always a pinned dungeon, so...
Yep.
So JTB on the top left here going to Swamp. We'll finally get to see what's in this dungeon. Everybody else is clearing stuff we've already seen at this point.
Yep, this will be some new information for everyone here.
I'm wondering if JTB will skip left side or not. Right now we have the big key, so if he finds a map or compass, I wonder if he makes it. My personal opinion, the way I played the qualifiers, I was super conservative. If I could get my hands on the chest, I opened it.
Yeah. And like, I know for me personally, like, you know, if I'm not in go mode, I will open every single chest until I find my last item. And, you know, for those of you who are more familiar with Randomizer and have watched a few races here and there have been times where runners they just skip left side swamp entirely, and there is an important item there and they don't go back for it for a while, and it ends up costing them the race. So it really depends. Usually there is a hint tile that will tell you. I have seen a hint tile that tells you what items are on the left side of swamp. I don't think we have come across one just yet.
No, I don't think we have.
Okay.
Firewood King showing off some really good tech in the Stalfos room with the bow in Eastern. Coming up on his Armos fight, should have a pretty easy fight with Silvers. Just like Julian Ninja, just tearing through Vitreous with Silver Arrow.
Yep, I mean, has plenty of arrows. Just takes one silver arrow to the face, and you're done.
Yeah, Vitreous being the only boss in the game that can stand up to more than one silver arrow. Oh, Firewood King missing Igor there.
Yeah, looking at what we have right now, looks like everyone except JTV does not have silver arrows yet. Still have to head to Meyer. But first still needs to get the flute from Skullwoods.
Yeah, and the bottom right here, Karnath showing us the lumberjack. Not lumberjack, blacksmith.
Blacksmith,
I don't think
yes.
we've seen this from any of our other runners.
I don't believe so, no. So we'll see what this sequence will bring us.
Oh no, top right, Julian Ninja making a play on Ice Palace without the hammer.
Oh.
And it looks like Karnath, I can't remember where it was, but Karnath has not yet seen the hint that let us know that Purple Chest was cash.
I think that was in... Oh gosh, I think it was one of the dungeons, I believe, I want to say. The Magic Cave was in Paradox Cave. Thank you, game.
Once again, journal entries.
We got that like half an hour ago, but thank you. So in Jillian Ninja's mind, they're probably thinking, the hammer could be in here. Unfortunately for us, we do know that it's not going to be in here, but if there's something in the 3 items in Ice Palace, possibly Ice Rod, possibly Fire Rod.
Yeah, the only thing, you're going to hit a hard lock here really soon, especially if you go to that right side.
Mm-hmm. And I believe Karnath is gonna also be making the Ice Palace play as well.
Now, I'm trying to think. Karnath hasn't dove pod yet, has he?
I don't believe so, no.
Now, this is a bold play from Karnath. From Julian Ninja, I get it, but oh wow,
Oh.
Julian Ninja just found a hint that told us what was on Sahasrara, but I missed it.
Oh.
Whatever that hint was tells us what was on Sahasrara.
It was
Chad is saying Ice Rod.
bombs. Oh no, we found Ice Rod on JDP side in
Oh,
the
okay.
Swamp Palace, but it said that there's some bombs held by a Kakariko village elder.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. At that point, I don't know if you feel better for being in Ice Palace or worse, because you're not going to be able to full clear it. But knowing that Sahasrara has junk, you kind of don't feel as bad about that. Like, oh, I guess I'm missing out on my bombs.
Although at this rate, Julian Ninja will probably just full clear as much as they can with Ice Palace and hopes to find. Let's see, we still need the Fire Rod. That's the one item that we have yet to see on any of our racers here.
Yeah, so with Ice Rod, I don't know. JTB has some options. He can go up to Death Mountain. He can open up Turtle Rock, but he can't do a whole lot depending on key layout without the Fire
Correct.
Rod. But he can full clear Pendant Ice Palace. So I don't know, if I'm JTB, I don't know which one I would prefer right now. He might gamble on Fire Rod being on Dark Death Mountain.
No one has checked the our tablets yet, have they?
I don't think so. I don't think we've seen Ether or Bombos.
Let's see what our first tablet has. And just a big 20.
Yeah, Julian Ninja has one more chest to check. I saw the hint tile said some bombs were someplace, but I missed the bottom half of the hint. I know it's bombs. I missed the location.
It said grumpy fish.
Oh, okay.
So I believe the grumpy fish refers to catfish.
Julian Ninja just finding a map, so Ice Palace was a bust for him.
I believe Karnath will be finding out that soon. Either was a piece of heart, forgot who got it, but someone did. Okay, cool. Thanks, Iceman.
And there it is, piece of art.
Oh, okay, there it is. Speaking of.
I think Julian Ninja might be making on the top left here, or top right here, might be making a play on Skull Woods.
Let's see, looks like it. Yeah, they have not gone into. They have not gone
Wait,
in there.
no,
Wait, no.
he's been into it because he's got flute and bombos.
Yeah.
So I wonder where he might be doing blacksmith. Oh, he's gonna clear out the rest of Deep's Town. I guess he did out of the first four chests.
Alright, meanwhile, looks like Firewood King is going to be finishing up Pod soon. JTP finally, now with the hammer, can now enter the portal up into Turtle Rock and will be able to, at the very least, check the first chest.
There's also a hint tile right in the front here.
Mm-hmm.
The boots are in Mini Moldworm Cave.
Again, game, thank you. we got that item in the first 5 minutes, but thank you.
Karnath opening up his last chest in ice. I think he'll realize real quick that he can't really do much more here. And he's out.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on the bottom left, Firewood King clearing out Pot.
Making some
We'll see
quick
what
work
play
there.
he makes next, because he'll probably be heading Swamp Palace because he's got his hammer now. Man, where is that fire rod?
Yeah, looks like JTP is opting to check Hookshot Cave first.
Right now, about the meanest place it could be would probably be hammerlocked in Ice Palace, because that would be just awful for Julian Ninja and Karnath.
Did we find all 4 items in Thieves Town, by the way?
I can't remember.
So I know there's still the big chest that's locked behind the hammer.
See, there's an item. I don't know if we'll get a pause screen from Julian Ninja while he's still in the dungeon.
No, we got the big chest. Okay.
Well, no one was in there with a hammer. I just don't know if the big chest has an item.
Yeah, because that could be where the ice, that could be where the fire rod is. I mean,
we're getting a spike cave check from JTB on the top left here.
No.
This will be new information for us.
And it is with the cape. It is in logic and the hammer. Yeah, Spike Cave is one of those like way out of the way locations that you would never check.
If I was in JT, I think he dove Turtle Rock.
He did,
I don't remember what he found, but I wouldn't.
First chest was a key, I believe.
If I was JTV, I'd probably be headed to Ice Palace right now. Oh wait, JTB hasn't done Skull Woods yet.
That's right, yeah.
He's probably about to go get his bombos and flute. He couldn't do Ice Palace if he wanted to right now.
Yeah, but with the bombos and flutes, JTP will be able to head over to Meyer and clear that in full.
So in the bottom left, we have Firewood King cleaning up Ice Palace, so he should be getting his ice rod. I don't think it was on left side. So as a matter of fact, I think they actually could have skipped left side if they wanted to.
I don't remember if they found all 6 items in if JTP, when he was in there, if they found all 6 items in Swamp, but I do know that the ice rod was found in the underwater room where the 2 chests are normally flooded. That's where you found the ice rod.
Gotcha. Karnath making the play on Pod, so he should be getting his hammer shortly.
Kind of see a neat little cool strat there on JTP side with the hammer dash, where if you have the boots and you're able to dash with the hammer and just knock down everything as needed. It's actually kind of cool.
Julian Ninja finally making the play back to Pod, so he should be getting his hammer. He's probably going to be really upset when he sees that hammer in Pod.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Karnath is heading into Eastern, and we'll be able to clear it now with the bow.
Yeah, this is one of those rare situations where Potion Glitch would have really paid off for him. So Potion Glitch allows you to get to the right side of Pod without using a bow. You drink a potion as the camera is moving, but you drink it before the camera locks onto the edge, and it allows you to manipulate the mimics to where they walk off the screen.
It's actually one of the newer glitches that was found just a few months ago, and it's still in version 29.
Firewood King picking up his ice rod in the flooded chest there.
Yep.
ATB getting his bombos and now getting his flute.
Just realized we're about an hour in, and no one has found a shield yet. I don't think they're going to be as important in the siege, or I personally like shields. They're kind of cool to have, but don't think we have not found one yet.
Yeah, interestingly enough, the devs actually do consider the shield in the logic for Mimic Cave. But since we have Cake, we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
So those shields could be literally anywhere right now.
Alright, Karnath wraps up Eastern Palace, Firewood King. We'll be wrapping up Swamp as well. And finally, JTP has the Bombos Medallion and Flute, and will be making the way over to Meyer. Now, this point of the siege, where else is there to check, though?
Hammerlock Ice Palace.
Oh, no. That's
about it.
It's gotta be where our elusive fire rod has to be.
So I have to imagine that JTB is probably going to clear out Meyer. Luckily, you can dip desert without having to kill Landmo. I think we had a bottle with blue goo and rupee of some variation.
Yes.
On the right side of desert. So.
Yes. So there's actually a hint that, or one of the runners found, that tells you that some rupees are in a chest that requires a specialist to unlock. And that means that the purple chest has cash. So I believe the runners who did check it did not get the purple chest. What's great about the new version for version 30 is that sometimes the hints could be really, really useful, and sometimes they are not. So, and it's very interesting to see will go out of the way to search out for those tile hints. Now, chat brings up a good point. We still don't know the fire rod could be behind the mushroom that has yet to be found as well. So even extending our search even further.
Pedestal hasn't been checked, but there was a hint that actually in Meyer that told us cache was on the pedestal.
Yep. Yeah, it's in the we call it the cutscene room in Meyer that opens up after you light the four torches there, and it says that some cache requires 3 pendants to unlock. Yes, catfish was also checked. There was another hint that says that there are bombs are with an angry fish. I believe some runners actually did go up to catfish and did check it themselves. But yes, as a P-Train noted, the only place we have yet to check is Ice Palace, and we are a fire rod away from reaching go mode.
Also, JTB knows that thanks to a hint that silvers are in the firelock side of Meyer, so you'll probably pick those up. That'll probably be a very welcome gift before fighting Vitreous.
Mm-hmm. Now the silver arrows makes that fight so much easier.
And there they are. And also the hint being the real MVP, letting us know that there's a small key in the cutscene chest. So that's a really long check that we won't have to bother with.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, trying to get the dash on JTB's side, but missing it, now having to trail behind the firebar. So Firewood King now finishing up Thieves Town. We'll be able to see he has the hammer.
Yeah.
So we'll finally be able to see what was in this big chest and whether or not it was an item or not. Man, if this was Fire Rod, holy cow. Just a piece of heart. So, but it is an item. So that right there, I mean, I'm sure that's weighing heavily on the runners' minds right now.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Jillian Ninja finally has the Eastern Palace crystal.
I imagine Bo, Chewie, and Ninja and Karnath, the moment they get done with the pod EP play, they'll be going to Swamp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Left Side Swamp was checked out this time around. I don't think there was anything of note. I think we found all of the items. Yes, tablets have been checked. It was Piece of Hearts in either tablet and cash on Bombos.
JTB, even with all of the hearts he has, he's still just finishing Meyer with 2 hearts. This dungeon has just been so mean to all of our runners.
It's weird that you say that. Yeah, like a lot of like who was it? Firework King and Karnath were also in pod earlier, not pod in Meyer, and they had like so few hearts to work with. Yes, Pyramid Ledge was a single arrow for their troubles.
Yeah, I think the only thing we have yet to see from all of our runners is the Hammerlock side of Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to answer something that's going on in chat right now, we won't announce anyone. We won't announce any results. We don't discuss any other streamers on this stream. Once the streamers on this stream have finished, we'll start announcing results and let you know where they all stand.
Yep. Alright, so JTB, where are you going to next? I imagine that'd be the Ice Palace play.
Well, not
Or
before diving desert. It looks like.
okay.
Although it'll be a quick trip into desert. He's going to find both of his items pretty soon here.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he goes straight to land mode. Unique item requires a bomb. That is probably one of my least favorite hints in the game. There's so many locations that need a bomb.
It's like that's so like it's doesn't really mean anything. It's like that could be anything game. Like
Could be the Paradox Cave, could be Blind's Hideout, could be Kakariko Well, could be Rando Room in Ganon's Tower. It for all intents and purposes, it means nothing.
mm-hmm.
So just a reminder, as all of these people are backtracking each other's steps, please give these runners a follow. It's not easy to it's not easy to run Randomizer. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of work, but to even do that on a restream, where people are watching you and people are talking about what you're doing well, what you're doing poorly,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of guts. So give all these runners a follow. They're doing all this for our entertainment. So please go give them a follow.
And I know from experience, I know both of us have been restreamed. Have you been restreamed before, P Train?
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's kind of nerve wracking. But know that for us as commentators, we're definitely not here to put anyone down. We are here to kind of give everything as like a learning experience and be able to educate those in chat as to what's going on in the game. So know that we are definitely a lot more nicer than I would hope. All commentators would be nice, but we're definitely be a little bit more informative and educational here. So, and we also depend on chat as well in case we miss an item, location, or anything. You guys are always there to back us up. So, props to you guys in chats as well.
So JTB now making the Ice Palace play. We'll finally get to see what's here on the Hammerlock side.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to see the end on the bottom left here. We're going to see the end of Turtle Rock and what that ended up with. I don't know how deep JTB went in here earlier.
Let's see. I know they got
All
the
right,
first
we're
chest.
going deep here.
Yeah, because when JTB was in Turtle Rock, they did get the first key in the first chest, and I don't think they went any further.
I have run seeds where Fire Rod is in Mimic Cave. Though I've heard rumor that logically Fire Rod can be on Laser Bridge. That just seems like a particular kind of meme, but I've heard it happen before.
It just seems like the worst possible thing that could happen.
Fire King giving us a legitimate bunny sprite. Trying not to die here. He's down to 1 heart. I think he still has that fairy, though.
I believe so too, yeah.
On the top right here, Julian Ninja about to get his ice rod.
Speaking of fetch quest earlier, we still don't have the powder, which could mean that Fire Rod could be on the magic bats. We still don't have the mushroom, which means the Fire Rod could also be with the witch.
We
Anything is
haven't found a
possible.
shovel yet.
That's right, yeah. I hope you guys like fetch quest.
Yes, Fire Rod can be in Big Chat. Fire Rod can go all the way to Laser Bridge and TR.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a strike of lightning in terms of luck to get it, but it can be. I've actually played a seed where Fire Rod has been in Mimic Cave before. I lost that race too, very badly.
Yeah, I think at least for my experience, I have found Ice Rod on Laser Bridge. which is the last place you would think it would be located.
So I wonder how JTB will choose to route Ice Palace. So because he has a hammer, he has a lot of options available to him here in terms of bomb jumps and just getting around Ice Palace. Firewood King is going down this rabbit hole. He is all in right. Oh, he found Fire Rod.
There
It was
is.
in the big chest.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, at an hour, 24 minutes, and 50 or so seconds, Firewood King is the first of our restream runners to be in the fabled Go mode. And looky here, we're actually in Turtle Rock, so Firewood King will be able to defeat Tranix and then head over to Skullwoods, defeat Mothula, and then make the climb.
Yeah, completely avoided Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's just like, when you're running these kind of seas, you just have to think of what plays you can make and try to think of, like, has anyone else done this play yet? So it's definitely a thing, but we now know for sure where it is.
Oh man, how funny would it be if you had to go back to the front of the dungeon to go get a small key?
Oh, the area that was blocked by Fire Rod. Oh, no worry. Firewood King's good. But
That would just be a special kind of luck. Be like, nope, no small key on Laser Bridge. Got to go back to them torch chests.
And to add further insult to injury, JTB could have found the Fire Rod much earlier too, but he opted out of Turtle Rock when he was in there. But that is Randomizer.
Man, Firewood King on the bottom left here, just absolutely tearing through Trinix. That's not an easy quick kill to get.
Fortunately, with the Butter Sword, it makes things a lot easier.
See, and here's the thing, like here's the bittersweet thing about Randomizer. Like in terms of pure mathematics, I think JTB actually made the mathematically sound play. Because going up to Turtle Rock, like you have no clue if you're going to be Fire Rod locked. So you might just open up a chest with compass in it and then you're done. But anything like, let's say you make the mathematically smart play, anything that works 95% of the time is still going to fail 5% of the time. So in this case, Firewood King went left, JTB went right, and left was the right call in this case. Or in this case, Turtle Rock big chest. Looks like Julian Ninja is getting back to this big chest in Thieves Town. I figured it was a matter of time before the other runners just start freaking out about this.
Yeah, it's always when you're looking for your last item before you're able to enter Go mode, it's just tearing all through all of Hyrule, just trying to find it.
Yeah, I will say that the fact that Karnath and Julian Ninja dove Ice Palace without the hammer, that might actually work to their advantage because they're now, like, they have an incentive to go somewhere other than Ice Palace.
Now, in the hopes, do they aim to keep to that play, or do they return to Ice Palace because they didn't have the hammer beforehand?
Yeah, JTB went into Turtle Rock, found the small key, but opted not to go deeper into Turtle Rock.
And with Fire Rod at hand, Firewood King will now be able to full clear Skullwoods for their last crystal.
Getting to see some more of those cool hammer dash strats on Karnath in the bottom right here. I wonder if JTB got the hint that said Green Pendant was useless. Because there was a hint somewhere that said Cash was on the Green Pendant.
That was a nice palace. It was in the Stalfos room. Or the giant Stalfos guys that just jump from the ceiling and scare me every time they come in.
Oh, I hope JTV isn't doing what I think he's doing. I think he might be heading back for the big chest in Thieves Town. Meanwhile, Karneth making a break for Turtle Rock in the bottom right. If he is able to stick with Turtle Rock, he will find his fire rod very shortly.
Mm-hmm. And with Firewood King making quick work of Mothula, has the 7th crystal at hand. And I believe with the 7th crystal, Firewood King is going to be doing a nice little climb up to Ganon's Tower.
So for those in chat, of course we're not on Speed Gaming channel, so we don't have to bot. But a lot of people like to play a game where they guess what chest the big key is going to be in Ganon's Tower. So feel free to get those guesses in, and if you are right, I will think very highly of you. And I'll be like, man, I wish I could be more like that guy.
Yeah, I wish I could, be that person who was able to guess chess correctly. Wish I had that talent.
For real though, because I always seem to like route GT the worst.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a preferred chest or preferred number you go for yourself?
I generally, I don't know. I always like to see it on right side. I always go right side. I love to see it on right side. Second favorite is Rando Room.
Yeah, I think for me, I usually go for chest 5. With the way that I route Ganon's Tower is typically in the Stealthos room. Either that or it is in... I was like, Randomizer room is also a good room too.
Karneth is scaring me there. He opened the small key and then mirrored out.
Oh.
And it looked like he was really thinking hard about whether or not he wanted to go deep into Turtle Rock or not. I'm glad he stuck with it.
I was like, please don't leave.
Go back in, go back in. JTB checking pedestal. I guess he missed the hint that said where it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those wheels have to be turning. He's got to realize it's Turtle Rock at this point. He's probably kicking himself for leaving earlier, which I mean, I don't blame him for, but
yeah, it's so hard to make that call though. Like, you definitely want to go to areas that you don't think anyone else has been to, but at the same time, it's like it's so hard to, again, Randomizer will do that to you.
Yeah, I mean, and there are two different types of people, right? So I mean, like, let's look at it from Firewood King's perspective. He went deep into Turtle Rock. There are two different types of people. There's the person that's like, oh, I'm probably being baited. Like every chest that sends you deeper into Turtle Rock, you're like, oh, this is gonna be useless. I'm wasting time. And then you have people that are like, oh wow, this is great. I'm gonna get so many items. And I'm usually of the former, so I don't blame JTB for saying like, no, I'm not falling for this.
Also, speaking of shield, we finally have our first shield after an hour and a half in.
And a big key.
Oh.
So sorry, chat. Looks like there was some excitement to see Bob today. Doesn't look like we're gonna see.
And also with Butter Sword, arrows, red tunic, we have looks like 13 hearts. I think we're well equipped for the rest of the tower.
Yeah, and Julian Ninja getting his Turtle Rock big key, which is just like the Ganon's big key in a way. So that's exciting.
And it looks like the last 3 remaining streamers are all in Turtle Rock together. They'll be finding the Fire Rod momentarily.
Yeah, not to take away from Firewood King because, he's in Ganon's Tower and that's super exciting, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this plays out because our runners are more or less neck and neck. Like execution, like we're still close enough to where execution can make a difference.
Right. You can have the best routing in the world, but if your execution is eh. Which I will say, like, if you're starting on a randomizer, the first thing you usually tend to get down is routing and figuring out where to go, at what time. And then after that, just working on execution where you're not, dying to everything every 5 seconds. So, which takes a little bit more time to fine tune. Well, Fire King is making some very quick work here up in the gauntlets.
Yeah, I really don't see Firewood King having an issue with this. We're so stacked right now in terms of offense, defense.
I don't think we ever found the powder though, so we'll be able to get those quick heals from the from all of our anti-fairies and all that stuff here, but I think we should be good otherwise and everywhere else.
Yeah, we got some nice sync going on between Julian Ninja and Karnath on the right side of our screen here. Oh, here's the moment. Here's the moment. Oh, well, never mind. JTB is checking the game. I was like, JTB's about to find his big chest. I think when you're one item from Go Mode, a lot of people will go ahead and open the big chest first, just in case it has that one item, so you don't have to waste time mirroring from Mimic Game. V grabbing his fire rod here. He will be the last of our runners in Go Mode.
And I'm sure JTP was very happy to find the fire rod there. I will say though, it is a little bit easier when the last dungeon that you need to complete is Turtle Rock, so you could just head over to Ganon's Tower, but with Skullwood still in play, gotta head down first and then climb the mountain up again. Yeah, there's celebration swipes from JTP. He's so happy.
And meanwhile, Firewood King is going into his Aga 2 fight.
Decided to forego the Molten 2 chest there. Pretty sure it wasn't anything important. It's not like we need anything else.
Aga 2 is one of my least favorite fights in all of Randomizer.
Yeah, it's geometry with Aghanim 2. It's my least favorite thing to do in the world.
Firewood King is going into his Ganon fight. Meanwhile, on the right side of our screen, we have Karnath and Julian Ninja now racing to... okay, Karnath is emptying out his bottles, so he can go probably get potions. Julian Ninja, meanwhile, is making a beeline straight for Skullwoods. This is unfortunate. Karnath actually had about a one-room lead on Julian Ninja. But we'll see. Having 2 more blue potions, he will definitely be able to be much more aggressive with his magic in the gauntlet.
Yep.
Firewood King just tearing through Ganon with that gold sword.
Oh yeah, we are...
It's not even fair. Like, I almost feel bad for Ganon.
Yeah, and the keyword there is almost. Yeah, but with the silver arrows, this makes the final phase of the Ganon fight up much easier.
We did miss that first arrow.
Ooh.
Oh, we missed again.
Oh no.
At least he's not like giving Ganon hugs. Like, that's when it gets really bad. I'll miss arrows all day, but just don't let me walk into them.
No, no.
Oh no! Man, that was unfortunate. He tried to get to Ganon, but just barely got hit by those fire bats.
Ugh. Do they have... Oh man, that's so...
Well, he had a fairy,
Mm-hmm.
but he was over a hole, so he died. The fairy revived him, and then I think he may have fallen down the hole, maybe?
Oh no.
I think, I don't know. He got back to the top of the pyramid very quickly, so I'm not quite sure what happened there.
As Ganon said, this is like deja vu all over again. Ugh. So there's a fun fact about the whole Ganon fight where, which I learned as I was learning the randomizer. So Ganon tells you where the silver arrows are before the final phase starts. If you haven't found the silver arrows at that point in time and you don't feel confident doing silverless, you can just hop down the platform and search for those silver arrows if your heart so desires. Although I will say silverless Ganon fights are they're not easy to learn, but when you are able to do them effectively, they're pretty awesome to look at.
Yeah, and also those fire bats, if you get hit by them, whatever direction you're pushing on the D-pad, they push you in the opposite direction. So Firewood King tried to run away from the fire bat, so when it hit him, it sent him upwards over the hole. But luckily, he got back in there with gold sword, silver arrows. Not a hard fight at all. So he's about to walk through the door, and it looks like he finishes in 17th place overall with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 33 seconds. So get your GGs in chat.
Very well done by Firewood King, being the first of our featured runners here to complete the seed.
So give us 1 second. We're going to see if we can get Firewood King in here for an interview. And we are now joined by Firewood King. GG.
Hi there. Thank you.
So general thoughts about that seed?
I mean,
You
whoever placed the hammer and the fire rod where they did a cruel joke.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's actually one thing to bring up that I don't think you dipped into Ice Palace at all, did you?
I did not go into Ice Palace. I was considering it. I cleared out the rest of Thieves Town, and then I was like, do I go into Ice Palace and get a green pendant, or do I... And the reason I went into Turtle Rock is the best qualifier I had, I did exactly the same thing for the Ice Rod. The Ice Rod was in Turtle Rock, and I was like, if it worked once and I pulled a miraculous rod out of Turtle Rock, maybe I can do it again. So
I mean, it's got to work again.
And you did, yeah, because out of the 4 featured restreamers we have here, we had 2 others who went into Ice Palace but didn't have the hammer at the time, so they weren't able to fully clear Ice Palace in full. One person actually did and was actually in Turtle Rock much earlier but left.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, and it's just, that's Randomizer again for all of you guys. But
yeah. Of course, the one qualifier that was chosen to be picked up on Restreamed, I did silly things like getting picked up by the hand and falling on Ganon. I had the rare fall and then die while falling.
That's actually very, very impressive.
It's probably preferable to do that, actually, because I got a health refill and I started right at the top of the pyramid. So if you're gonna fall, you gotta. That's clearly RNG manipulation, right? That's
I mean, that's a sign of like a real skilled run. It takes a really skilled runner to do that. Anyone can kill Ganon. But there were some notable routing differences that you did. You skipped out on pod the first time. Some of your opponents did not.
I was going to, and then I didn't, and that was a mistake. I should have gone into pod.
Well, it worked out because one of the other runners dove pod the moment they killed Agatu, but they didn't potion glitch, so they didn't get hammered. And it took them a while to go back because I think at that point they only had like 2 items.
Yeah, the moment I should have gone into pod was when I checked the hobo under the bridge, and I should have gone to pod there. That's what I was planning on doing. And then I was like, oh, 6 items on Dark Death Mountain if the hammer's there, but it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, that, and you were also one of the first to get Bombos and Flute out of Skull Woods. It took some of your opponents to a little while to do that. Although I will say, like Julian Ninja, he dove pod.
Yes.
But after pod, he also dove Skull Woods, but you still got there first. And also, I think you were the only one to hold off on Thieves Town, the back of Thieves Town, until you had the hammer. Your opponents all did Thieves Town without the hammer, and then I know at least 2 of them went back for the big chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, my intention was absolutely to do the first 4 of Thieves Town because I didn't have the hammer. So that, I guess, saved me a little bit of time because I only double dipped it. I imagine some runners then triple dipped it.
Yeah, and another thing that you did early in the game, you set up the fake flipper. None of your opponents did that, so they all had to backtrack for the lamp. So I felt like you might have been a little bit. I mean, granted, everyone got the sword and cape out of Paradox Cave, but I feel like you more than others might have been, on the Aga train. Early.
Yeah, I got those boots in Mini Moldorm Cave, and I was like, I get to do it because I was looking, I knew I had Zora money, and I was like, well, if I had the Moon Pearl, it'd be more effective to do the fake flipper sequence because I could get the Waterfall Cave, and I was like, okay, the boots showed up in Mini Moldorm Cave, and that solved that problem for me.
Yeah, I believe overall you finished 17th, I believe.
Yeah, I can think of several ways I could have done better with that, but I think I ran my numbers. I'm going to end up with a score of 0.844, and my feeling is that that's going to be good enough for groups.
Yeah, I believe this is your 5th race.
This is my 5th race. Yeah, I'm done now. This was not my worst, but it was close to being my worst. So the 3 of my scores that are going to count are about 0.81, 0.81, and 0.89. So 0.84 is where I'm going to end up. I think that'll be good enough based on where the scores are looking right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now you're sitting at 60 seconds, so you've had a pretty good performance throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I wanna call out the admins and thank them for picking what I think is a pretty good system. It rewards consistency. It doesn't punish you to get sniped by other people since it's based on time. I think it's a pretty good system. Not only because I think it's going to work out to my favor.
I don't know if you were around for the spring tournament or the summer tournament. I know this does involve a lot more math, but I think with this many people participating, it does work out in terms of like, who gets to move on, and we can do a little bit more of a streamlined process this time around.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think shout out to Christos for handling all the math and making a beautiful spreadsheet. There's something about a nice spreadsheet that really gets me going.
It's very nice actually.
Spreadsheets are my Sudoku.
Even though math for me just terrifies the heck out of me. So, full credit to, I think, Christos and everyone else who is involved in the whole calculation process for the tournaments.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of just data in general, and just the way that they've tracked this has just been amazing. And also just the qualifiers in general. Like, I get to race against people that I don't usually get to race against. I feel like I feel like all of us have a really good measure of how we stack up, like at least against the people who we've run against. Like when I see me compared to other runners, I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fair.
Right. Speaking of, I have looks like our last 3 restreamers are finishing up the trek up the tower, and John Ninja is the first to meet up with Agatu, and Karnaf and JTP are following suit.
Yeah, and just something I want to draw attention to. JTB was actually the last runner to get go mode, but just through execution, he's gained quite a sizable lead. Not a lead, but he's gained a lot on his opponents right now.
Yep.
A Ganon fight could decide who wins between these 3 runners.
And so for Firewood King, I'm going to guess you have full intention of participating in the group stages, I would assume?
Yeah, if I qualify, which I think I will, I definitely am looking forward to it. I don't have much experience with the other formats, but I mean, I really enjoy the tournament race environment, and getting 15 guaranteed tournament races is pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to that.
Did you participate in the spring tourney, or is this your first tournament?
Yeah, I participated in spring. I went 4 for 3 in Swiss, 4 and 3, and did not make it to brackets.
Oh, gotcha.
Same here.
I was 1-5-1, but again, when you are doing Randomizer for the first time with no experience, it's kind of an adventure.
So Julian Ninja has Ganon on his last phase. JTB is working on it, and as is Karnath. Karnath going with Cape Strats. Really smart. He's got a ton of potions. He's got half magic. Really no reason not to. He's also down on 1 heart. So might as well deplete that magic, drink a blue potion, get all of your resources back.
Like how most of our runners this race have kind of like danced on the edge of danger there, of like doing boss fights with so few hearts.
Oh yeah, everybody
Vitreous,
got wrecked.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vitreous fight, I was like, oh, like this is way too scary for my taste.
No, both you and I think Julian Ninja did an 8-heart mire. JTB was late in Skull Woods, so it took him a while to find both Flute and Bombos. But he had, I think, 12 hearts in mire, but everybody else was very low health for mire.
Right, and speaking of, Julian Ninja is the second of our restream runners to finish up.
It looks like he has finished in 45th place with a official SRL time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 11 seconds. So get your GGs in chat.
And we'll see if they are available to come in for a post-race interview. And following suit is JTB and Karnath, one after another. So GGs to all 4 of our restream runners this evening. Please put all of your GGs in chat if you haven't done so already. We'll see if our 3 racers are coming in. All right, and it looks like we have Karnath with us, GGTU, as well as JTB coming in, and I believe we are looking for 1 more racer. See if they're available to come in. But for JTP and Karnath, GG's to you guys.
Thanks much.
GG's.
So what were your general thoughts about that seed?
Seriously, Fire Rod and Turtle Rock.
We felt so bad for you because we saw you dip into Turtle Rock, but then you left. We were like, oh.
Yeah, this is more of less about Fire Rod and T-Rock and more about just trusting each other.
I can barely hear you, JTB.
So I'm gonna see.
Is this a little bit better?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
There you
I was
go.
trying to go off my headset and I was talking into my mic. I felt like it was less about Fire Rod and T-Rock and more about why didn't I trust myself and just keep going. So I can't be upset about that. Just learn for next time.
Yeah, we were talking about that though. Like there are 2 different types of people with Turtle Rock, right? So you find that small key. Some people are like, oh yeah, I can get more items now. Other people are like, oh, I'm not falling for this. Like, I'm not going all the way down here for a compass or something like that. So,
yeah, and it's definitely, that is randomizer. So like, it's all about making which plays you think are right at the moment as well.
Yeah, and I mean, all in all, like your routing and execution was pretty solid. The only, I mean, and Fire Rod tripped up most everybody. I think Firewood King caught on to the Fire Rod soonest.
Yes.
But between you and the other 3 runners, I think you all went back for the big chest in Thieves Town. Firewood King held off until he had the hammer. I think all three of you dove Ice Palace, although you were the only one to have Hammer when you did it. Both Karnath and Julian Ninja dove Ice Palace without the Hammer. So just a few little differences there. And also, Karnath, I kind of want to give you an opportunity. What do you think about the sea?
Well, like I say, the Fire Rod and Turtle Rock really stumped me. The hammer in pod, that aggravated me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The worst part is I did a practice seed. I think it was yesterday where it was a very similar situation. It was in, I think it was in Vanilla Big Chest actually, but I was, yeah, it's like I should have done that so much earlier, and I'd be like 20 minutes ahead now.
Yeah, like when you think about it, this seed had a lot of like French vanilla. It had a lot of things that, like, if you gambled like that, so you had Fire Rod in Turtle Rock. If you went up to Herald without a sword, you were rewarded in Paradox Cave. Also, you got the Moon Pearl in Hera. So the hammer was in Pod. Just there were a lot of interesting things, like with the way items were located in this seed.
I actually really liked the hammer location, to be quite honest. It worked out perfectly for how I routed Dark World, with the exception of the one chest in Thieves Town.
Right.
But just ignoring Pod, finding the bow, and then just being able to knock out both of those dungeons together without any double dipping was quite a good feeling.
Yeah, I think out of all of the runners, Julian Ninja was the only one to dive Pod. Like the moment he cleared Aga 2, he cleared Pod. So of course he did that without the bow. He didn't do Potion Glitch, and then proceeded to check everything just about before heading back to Pod to get his hammer.
Yeah.
I myself was a little disappointed. There actually turned out to be nothing of real value in any of the pendant dungeons.
That's
That
right.
was
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah. And I feel like for version 30 especially, like, I know in a good number of the seeds that I've ran, there is something of importance in one, if not all, of the pendant dungeons, but that was not the case this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, we were also talking about the lack of fetch quest items. Like nobody found mushroom, nobody found powder, nobody found the shovel. So we were just waiting for, to dive into a pendant dungeon, find one of those items, and then that be, the keys to the kingdom.
Ugh,
looks like
that
on,
would have been
the-
awful.
Looks like on the JTB side, it looks like you did find the mushroom on your side.
Yeah, it was the same room that GT Big Key was in.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think as per the credits, there was just a shield behind the mushroom.
Oof.
Yeah, which ironically, we were shieldless for this seed until we got to Gannis Tower.
Yeah, like an hour and a half in. I think we found our first shield. But I know I think for most of the runners here, I think this was your 5th and final race that you needed for the qualifiers. How do you guys feel about your, how your standings are and everything?
I already calculated my average, so as long as the cutoff doesn't go up too much, then I should be good.
Okay.
I was part of the death race on Sunday, so.
Was that, you mean the death race where? Oh, that's right. That's the one where there were.
That was the hover seed.
The hover.
Yeah. That was not. That was not a kind seed.
So I was worried a little bit because that was like a 0.72 for me. But this one was higher than that, fortunately. And yeah, I already went through all my times in the past 20 minutes to see if I was going to be okay. So I think I'll be good, but we'll see what happens in the next 2 days.
Yeah, I think we have 2 more races. This will all wrap up on Sunday, I think. We should be starting up group stages sometime early next week. So hopefully you guys do make it in for groups. You guys are excited to see the other modes that have yet to be played in the tournament, including inverted mode.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that.
I'm excited to watch it. I don't want to play it.
Exactly.
I mean, like, unless you're my opponent, then yeah, bring it on. I love inverted.
Yeah, inverted is it's pretty much hard mode is what we've gathered.
Yeah, it's what I felt kind of on my
Mhm.
first time I did it. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I really like the format of this tournament more
Mhm.
than the past ones. So
Yeah.
So not that I'm trying to do research on potential opponents or anything, but of all of the options, like we got retro coming up, swordless coming up, inverted coming up. What options are y'all most looking forward to in the upcoming group stage?
Open.
keep it
Now here's the
simple.
thing.
I
I
like
think
it.
is retro going to be stable
Retros
enough though?
and yeah.
Yes,
Oh
they have
no.
worked out the bugs, unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunately.
I have yet to check out retro, and I might have to look at that one.
Oh, retro is
It's a thing.
it's a thing. Yes,
It's
it is
just a
definitely a thing.
more annoying open mode, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think I believe Q-Sanity is in the mix too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, again,
How about you,
Q-Sanity.
Firewood King?
I'm going to go ahead and second open. I don't really have much experience with any of the other modes, so
Mhm.
yeah, open mode, no swordless, no inverted.
I feel like open is a pretty good nice even even mode for everyone to be able to participate in, unless you have that one runner who just really loves Q-Sanity. Be like, hey, about this.
I'd rather do Keysanity than retro, though.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's my own personal opinion.
yeah, I would do anything over retro mode, to be perfectly honest.
How about you, JTB? What are you looking forward to?
See, now I feel bad because you're all talking bad about all these other modes except open. I'm planning to have all of them on the table. You know,
Yeah.
Are
inverted,
you going to be the
swordless, hard mode.
inverted swordless hard mode?
Yeah, you know it.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
I am ready to go.
That is
If there's one thing I'm confident in, it's my execution. So if I can just
nice.
take out the routing portion and just have it be about not dying, then I'll go for that.
I think it's funny is funny you mentioned that JTP is that you were the last person to find Fire Rod and finish up Turtle Rock, but you did gain some time just based on your execution. So that is definitely something you have going on for you there.
Yeah, you were the last runner in go mode. And I want to say you were like 3 or 4 runes behind, but then you ended up in Aga 2 the same time as Julian Ninja, which was really impressive to watch. So, yeah, kudos to you, man. I mean, really, like I don't want to say like everyone else.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's not what I mean to say. Everyone executed well.
Again, you guys, this is coming from someone who was too terrified of doing the fall tournament. So again, you guys are, so much more braver than I am, at least. So, I think we have all of our end screens have loaded up. So it was a pretty good seed overall. Good collection rates from everyone. Yeah, so I think despite the fact that this was like a one required, wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Any final thoughts you want to give out before we wrap things up?
Well, there you go, right there. The dog spoke for myself.
Sorry, there's the neighborhood dog there.
I'm actually looking forward. I still have my final race this coming Sunday, so I'm really hoping to do well on that because I haven't been keeping that close attention to the scores. I know I was in 62nd until today, but I have a feeling I'll be dropping a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, just
cool. Well,
thank
go ahead,
thank you guys. Sorry, I always want to thank you guys for doing this. You're spending 2.5 hours on a Friday night commentating a video game that's like 20 years old. But no, just shout outs to you guys. The track.
Thank you.
I think it was Iceman and Slowpoke.
Yeah, Iceman's on Restream, and we've got Antisim and Slowpoke on tracking. So
thanks for the tracking.
Yeah,
and we've got I think Files called you guys the Crazy Train team. So thanks for thanks for being with us.
That's
I like it.
Right.
I like it.
It's like nice.
But yeah, thanks to everyone. GG to everyone.
GG's.
Thanks, guys.
So once again, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoy Randomizer, feel free to give this channel a follow. All of our runners, be sure to give them a follow. I'm trying to put their information in chat. Hey, I did the thing. So
Hey.
please go give them a follow, give them a run. I'm sorry, give them a follow. Watch what they do. They're going to be putting on a lot more races in the upcoming tournament. Special thanks. I always appreciate the trackers. Not only as a commentator, but as a viewer, you guys are amazing. Could not do this without you, Antisum and Slowpoke. I'm P-Train24. I really appreciate Crazy Sunshine. I really enjoyed commentating with you. Enjoyed the
Yeah,
whole
of
race.
course.
Fun to
Yes.
watch, fun to commentate with.
Also, want to make sure we give a special shout out to Iceman for restreaming, because without our restreamers, we would not have a race at all. So, give them a follow as well. And if you guys need more people to follow, please check out myself, Crazy Sunshine, and P-Train24 for more cool times. Personally, I'm not as good at Randomizer as are for runners here, so I'm okay. maybe
That-
you think.
That said, if you have any, if you watch this and you want to do it, I highly encourage you, join the Discord, get involved with the community. It's one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. So much knowledge, so much willingness to help everybody. It's a really welcoming community, and I promise you, what the performance you saw on the restream, you're closer to that than you think.
Yeah, and it's definitely definitely one of the nicer communities I've been a part of in the many years I've been here on the interwebs. So definitely give us a shot and hang out, and yeah, we would love to have you guys.
And with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Thank you all for watching, and as mentioned, give everyone a follow. Y'all have a great night now.
See you guys later.